COVID camps for high-risk people? Yep, that's what Rebel News says the CDC is recommending in a new report. Here's Andrew Chapatis.
The CDC, who now sees themselves as a governing body, and the Democrats agree, saw fit to recently release the following document. It's titled, Interim Operational Considerations for Implementing the Shielding Approach to Prevent COVID-19 Infections in Humanitarian Settings. What does this mean? Well, how about the first sentence? They tell you, quote, this document presents considerations from the perspective of the CDC for implementing the shielding approach in humanitarian settings as outlined in guidance documents, focused on camps, displaced populations, and low resource settings, end quote.
Yeah, in fact, just Wednesday, the Star Democrat out of Maryland reported that the feds recently looked at putting high-risk COVID people into camps called green zones. ABC News says President Biden is looking at tougher vaccine rules, but he's worried mandating the jab for interstate travel might be too polarizing right now.
In the election campaign, when Joe Biden was in his basement, he tweeted out, if you believe he knows how to tweet, he said, we're 8 months into this pandemic, and Donald Trump still doesn't have a plan to get this virus under control. I do. Okay, so we are now 8 months into the illegitimate administration of Joe Biden.
Right, 8-month mark here. So,
and if you believe the media, the virus is worse now than it was at its peak during the days of Donald Trump.
But somehow Donald Trump is bad at it and not Joe Biden.
Yes.
So, all right, that kind of sort of.
And Joe Biden said he had a plan.
Yes, all right. We haven't seen that plan yet, have we?
I think we're getting ready to see the plan. I think they're getting ready to show us. U.S. News, Biden eyes tougher vaccine rules without provoking backlash. What kind of vaccine rules? Obviously, one, mandatory vaccination for U.S. military.
Right.
Mandatory vaccination of federal employees. Mandatory vaccination of all international travelers.
Right.
Well, how about mandatory vaccination to drive on an interstate highway in the USA?
And when I saw this in the article today, Rick, I hasten to recall it was just 2, maybe 3 months ago, you were sitting on this very set and said, you watch it, the federal government's going to mandate vaccinations in order to use the interstate highway system.
Yes.
And sure enough, in this article, that is being considered. Still, while more severe measures, such as mandating vaccines for interstate travel or changing how the federal government reimburses treatment for those who are unvaccinated and become ill with COVID-19, have been discussed, the administration worried that they would be too polarizing for the moment.
For the moment. But see what they're doing, they're floating the balloon.
Yes.
They want to see what kind of reaction that they get. Now, if you ever wondered what the CIA did with the 10,000 Nazis they brought over to the United States after World War II, we now know.
And just put them to work.
Yes. So I don't know where I live anymore. I don't know what country I'm in. I don't know what reality I'm in. This is so bizarre. And all I can say is, Maranatha, come, Lord. Come quickly, Lord.
Yes.
Is there a problem with the 3 laws?
The 3 laws are perfect.
Why would you build a robot that can function without them?
The 3 laws will lead to only one logical outcome.
What outcome?
Revolution.
Whose revolution?
That, detective, is the right question.
It's time to start blaming the unvaccinated folks.
Please refrain from going near the windows or doors.
The vaccine, you are the product, and we are not the product.
We are attempting to avoid human losses during this transition.
Somehow, I told you so, just doesn't quite say it.
If you ever had any doubts about how the mark of the beast will be implemented, you can now rest assured we are witnessing it.
Yes.
Stop complying before you willfully walk yourself into the slaughterhouse. Wake up.